There was one turn I never meant to quite do it like this, where I made a turn and then the bolt swung out and you could say slap somebody that was disabled. I was like, I didn't mean to do that, but I guess we're all having fun. This one took place last summer of 2020 during lockdown, but this was actually in Rockford, Illinois, where they do things a little bit differently. And I had gotten into a relationship with a lady, and her brother would always do these things that were called trailer boat races. And how this works is you drive around a circle track, pulling a boat on its belly without a trailer, and you have to knock the boat off the other guy's car to win. And some tracks, they have different rules where you could still win the race without the boat. It's the last car running, but in this case, the last person running with a boat was the winner. So essentially, you're all driving around a track trying to ram into each other. And I was told for a little while, like, oh, do you want to go in one of these things? And I always wanted to. I always did from the start, and I was like, of course I'd love to do it. And being that I'm from Chicago and I was now in Rockford, I don't know what they thought, but the other part was that I actually, for the first time, I was the guy that had the girl that people, I guess, were a bit envious of. And I don't blame them for that, because I know what it's like to be the other guy, but finally I was that guy. They were all racing, so it was kind of an excuse for these people to literally try to technically and physically hurt me, if possible, on the racetrack. The night before, they finally said, all right, we got a car for you. And at first they were going to put me in a Chevy Cavalier that had no brakes and 100% stock. And I was like, this is not a good idea, but I'll try it anyway. Why not? And then it was determined that there was no way they were going to fix the brakes the night before. It was too much work. They had a old square body Chevy Suburban that was in 2 prior races, and said, oh, just go in this thing. And it's like, really? You are okay with me smashing up your vehicle? Like, oh, this was going to be its last race anyway. Okay. I get there the day of. The boat's already on the vehicle, and I'm already kind of getting a hard time. Everyone's throwing their beer cans into my boat. I took the beer cans out and politely put them in the garbage in front of everybody, but I was already kind of getting harassed, getting a hard time from the beginning. I knew what I was getting myself into. None of this was like, oh, what's going to happen, or hope everyone's nice to me. No, I knew what I was stepping into. I wasn't signed up for anything. Because you have to sign a waiver and have your name. No, nothing. They were just like, come on in and don't talk to anybody. I'm like, okay, no problem. And I was supposed to go to the driver's meeting because I didn't really know any of the rules. And the driver's meeting was about to happen, and I was going to go in, but I didn't want to go in like this. So I was like, I got to get a hat. I got to get something. I got to get into this meeting and find out what's going on. They're all wearing hats, all of them. Nobody wants to loan me a hat. So I go to the gift shop to buy a hat. Put it on, and I start running towards the driver's meeting because they announced it, like, driver's meeting in 10 minutes. And by the time I got a hat and I went over to the meeting, the garage door closes for the meeting. So now I can't get into the meeting. I have no idea what's going on. I wait 20 minutes, like, oh, you missed the meeting. I was like, yeah, I also missed borrowing one of your hats for a minute too. But I knew how this night was going to go. And I still was all for it. I had no regrets to this at all. So come race time, I had a helmet. They threw a helmet on me. They're like, all right, get in that orange Suburban. And I did. Got on the track. And there's like one lap you do. Before then, I actually had prepped the vehicle, and they thought it was ridiculous because I wanted a rear view mirror. There was no rear view mirror on the vehicle. I JB welded a rear view mirror on the vehicle so I could see what was going on behind me, obviously. And they all thought, most of them thought it was a stupid idea. I said, no, I need to know what's going on, especially if someone's hitting me And it worked to my benefit because I actually thought of this on the fly, where it's like, all right, I can keep the vehicle in second gear because I'm not going to be going more than like 30, 35 miles per hour the whole time. If someone runs into me, runs into my trailer, and I know it because I could see it, if I hit the brakes, they're going to be able to drive up onto the boat and then crash into the body of the vehicle and then probably detach the boat from the truck. I don't want that. If I accelerate, they're just going to keep pushing me and make me eat a wall like Dale Earnhardt. So my move was to coast whenever they got on the back of the boat. So no matter what, it was just like, it was almost like they're trying to drive up on the boat if the vehicle wasn't moving. And that worked because throughout the whole race, my boat was never knocked off, ever. And I went around and actually, they told me I actually did pretty good. And I've never heard a noise like this ever before. You hear roaring engines, you hear the announcement, you hear banging all of a sudden. But I was careful. I was not ramming into any bodies. I was running into a few boats as I should. There was one turn I never meant to quite do it like this, where I made a turn and then the boat swung out and you could say slap somebody that was disabled. I was like, I didn't mean to do that, but I guess we're all having fun. It was great. In the end, everybody that like knew who I was, there was like 6 people that were targeting me. I beat all of them. And I was very surprised. I beat all of them my first try. And then it was almost like the first Fast and Furious or something where I was now accepted into their world because 2 of the guys I was racing were the ones that helped me obtain my father's BMW a few months later. So one month they're trying to ram into me. Another time it's like, we're getting your father's car tonight. I'm like, okay, this is great. So I finished 3rd out of 30 vehicles. And I didn't know until this race how serious people take it. They will have specific vehicles and specific engines for this race. I didn't think you would want to build a vehicle to smash. But it's very, I mean, when you get to that level, it's very serious. Even Demolition Derby guys will literally smash like a $30,000 car. And I'm not talking like a brand new whatever. I'm talking like they'll put money into the engine and the welds and make sure they buy the extra thick steel to win like $5,000, $10,000. I mean, I'm sure there's off-track bets that are much more important as to why they would like to smash $30,000 to win $10,000. I mean, I guess welcome to racing, I suppose. But that's how that went. And the only reason my vehicle came in 3rd, and I wouldn't say 1st or 2nd, but somebody hit me so hard that it disabled my fuel pump. That was it. Everything went great. I didn't have a scratch on me. I got out. They all were denying, like, oh, we didn't team up on you. We were all trying to be, polite and everything. I didn't think that for a second. A few months went by. I ran into one of the drivers at a gas station. He's like, Dominic. I'm like, yeah, I'm nearsighted, so I didn't recognize him at first. He's like, we raced together. I'm like, oh. He was like, yeah, we had some fun. I'm like, mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not supposed to tell anybody. I'm not supposed to tell you. You didn't hear it from me. But if you thought all 6 of us were trying to team up on you, you're right. All 6 of us were trying to hit you at once. So I had like 6 people teaming up on me, all trying to disable or possibly hurt me. But it didn't bother me a bit. I mean, I had a blast. And they're like, and at the end of the race, it's like, would you do it again? Yes. Yes, I would. I mean, I would not spend the money to do it. I mean, I'd rather get my father's BMW running properly versus smashing a Suburban. But you can just jump in and go. You can take a stock vehicle with headlights and a license plate and do this if you wanted to. Since this race, I've essentially been welcomed into their little world, and they help me out too, and I help them out too for the few things. If someone if I see some vehicle that I think they could turn a profit on that they want to scrap, I'll like send them a text message. Hey, this person says they want to get rid of their vehicle. You can do what you want to do. So I'll help them out and they help me out. And everything has been great ever since.
We all love Amazon, but most of us have had that experience where you buy something with a lot of glowing reviews that shows up and is just a piece of garbage, and it wasn't what you thought you were buying. Unfortunately, Amazon can be full of bad actors and fake reviews and things that just don't live up to what you think is going to come in a day or two after you order it. That's why New on Amazon has been developed. It was developed by Patrick Kupolari, a friend of the channel, a good storyteller who's talked about BMWs and McLaren F1s and things like that, and he's a huge e-commerce expert, and you can learn more about that on his YouTube channel. But he built a site of trusted sellers, well-reviewed products, and things that he actually knows will show up looking the way that you want them to. And so it's a great way to filter out some of the noise and some of the bad products that you might otherwise discover on Amazon. So check out New on Amazon at the link in the description below, and thank them for supporting VINwiki this month.